Hey, listen close. I just got my hands on something. A leaked voice note grainy panicked from someone who swears they work in Kylie's inner circle. She's burning through cash faster than her filters load, the voice whispers. Private jet fuel bills alone, $25,000 a pop. And that's before she even leaves the tarmac. Yeah, welcome to Dirty Hollywood. I'm Strange, and tonight we are cracking open the Kardashian empire like a cheap lipstick tube. Because the girl who sold the world, self-made billionaire at 21, might actually be running on fumes. Picture this. Hidden Hills 2026, Kylie Jenner 28 now steps out of her $36 million mega mansion. White marble everywhere, infinity pool glowing like a bad lie. She's in head-to-toe Balenciaga, but her eyes, hollow, like someone just told her the algorithm died. She climbs into that pink Bombardier Global 75, $173 million, custom interior Kylie Air stitched on the seats, and flies 17 minutes to grab coffee. Cost more than your rent. For coffee. Come on, we all know that's bullshit, but here's where shit gets truly fucked up. Back in 2019, Kylie Cosmetics was her golden ticket. She started it at 19 lip kits in her bedroom, viral on Instagram. By 21, Forbes slapped youngest self-made billionaire on her cover. $600 million from Coty for 51%. Sounds baller, right? Except Forbes later tore it apart. Said the family fake numbers pumped up sales, hid returns. They basically cooked the books like a bad reality plot. Kylie screamed fake news, but the math, it never lied. After taxes, the legal fees, Pierre Spinchy pocketed maybe $340 million. Still rich, but not billionaire rich. And definitely not never work again rich. Fast forward, Coty takes over, sales tank. Word on the street insiders, who still won't go on record, says the brand's down to $350 million in revenue. Not bad, but split with Coty, haircut's shrinking. And she's got mouths to feed. 2 kids, Travis Scott drama. A nanny army. That mansion's mortgage, 8 figures. Property taxes, another $500,000 yearly. Then there's the jet maintenance, pilots, hangar fees, ad her, low-key vacations, yacht charters in Ibiza, 5-star suites in Dubai. All on credit. I dug deeper. Court docs from 2024 Q1 show her LLC's borrowing against future royalties. Why? Because cash flows dry. Kylie Skin flopped. Kylie Swim ghosted. Even her Snapchat filters, remember those? She cut these for millions, then watched engagement crash when TikTok ate everyone's lunch. Let's be real for a second. The whole family's in on it. Kris Jenner momager, Supreme takes 10% off everything. Kim's got schemes, but even she settled a $200,000 tax slap from New Jersey last month. Khloe, good Americans bleeding from copycat lawsuits. Kendall, modeling gigs dry up. Nobody wants aspirational when everyone's broke. And Caitlyn, down to 25 million from 100. Divorce, bad investments, transition costs, the empire's cracking. But Kylie, she's the poster child. Remember that Forbes hit piece, Web of Lies? They said she inflated her net worth to sell more lip gloss. And guess what? People bought it. Until they didn't. Now her followers ghost. Comments like Queen of Nothing under every post. Leaked DMs here, I got them show her begging brands for collabs. Please, just one more drop. Desperate. And the rumors, oh, they're juicy. People who were in the room swear she sold jewelry family heirlooms just to cover payroll. One source anonymous, terrified, says she asked Kris for a loan. Kris said no. Figure it out, baby. Cold. Wait for it, here's the kicker. 2025, she drops a comeback collection, limited edition, sold out in hours. But behind the scenes, returns hit 80%. Fans say the formula changed cheap fillers, bad packaging. Word is, Coty ate the loss. Kylie still paid, but her trust gone. Now look at her life. That jet parked more than flown, fuel prices spiked. Mansion listed quietly last year asking $50 million. No bites. Why? Because buyers smell blood. And Travis, he dipped years ago. Left her with Stormy and Air and alimony whispers. I talked to a former assistant of record, Boyce Mask. She cries in the closet, he said. Not from heartbreak, from bills. Imagine that. The girl who had everything, counting pennies for Botox. And the family? They prop her up. Kim tweets support. Khloe posts thirst traps. But it's theater. The real money's tied up stocks, real estate, trusts, liquid cash, vanishing. One insider told me, if the show ends no Hulu check, they're done. So yeah, Kylie Jenner isn't broke, not yet, but she's one bad quarter from selling that jet. One lawsuit from liquidation, one viral flop from remember when, and me, I'm strange. I don't buy the filters, I buy the receipts. See that? That's not glamour, that's survival. Part 2, the childhood hustle. How she went from broke-ass Calabasas kid to fake billionaire. And why it all started crumbling the second she believed her own hype. We keep going, don't blink. You think fame's forever? Nah, fame's a loan. And Kylie's payments are due. She was born in 1997, October 10th to be exact. Mom Kris, dad Caitlyn back when he was Bruce. House in Calabasas, but not the mansion. Early days? Tight. Kris hustled modeling gigs, Bruce did Olympics cash, then the tape. Ray J. 27 million views, boom. Keeping up with the Kardashians, Kylie, 9 years old. On camera, fake smiles, learning how to pose before she could spell brand. By 13, she's lip-syncing on Vine. 14, first lip kit. She told Oprah, I just wanted to fill my lips. Bullshit. It was calculated. Kris saw dollar signs. Make it viral. They did. Sold out in minutes. But here's the twist. Those early batches, made in China. Cheap. She marked them up 300%. Fans ate it. Fast forward to 2017. Forbes calls, youngest billionaire. She poses on a throne gold, tacky. But insiders say Kris wrote the press release. Inflated sales by 20 million. Faked invoices. Why? Cover. Because underneath, debt. Kylie owed suppliers. Taxes lagged. Kris took loans against the brand quiet ones. Then 2019. Coty swoops in. 600 million. Kylie smiles for cameras. But that money gone in 2 years. Private island parties. $50,000 birthday cakes. A fleet of Rolls Royces pink. Black, matte. She bought a house for Travis 20 million, then trashed it in fights. And the kids, Tommy Bond 2018, Air 2022. Nannies on payroll, 6 figures each. Therapy, private. Security, armed. All while her brand's dying. One leaked text redacted names. Mom, I need another advance. Kris, earn it. Savage. That's not a store. That's a graveyard. She tried pivoting skincare, swimwear, even a baby line teeny lip glosses, flops, followers dipped from 390 million to, well, still high. But engagement? Trash. Brands notice. No more 7-figure deals. And the family betrayal, Kim's Skim's billion-dollar baby. Kylie watches. Jealous? Whispers say she begged for a collab. Kim said no. Too close. Competition. Khloe? You're fine, sis. But Khloe's in that too. Good American lawsuits, baby daddy drama. Kendall? Silent. She knows. They all do. The empire's a house of cards. One gust recession, scandal, bad PR, it folds. But wait, there's more. The real knife? Travis. He walked. Left her with custody fights. Child support? He pays. But she still fronts. And court doc sealed but leak show her asking for more. I can't afford this lifestyle. Judge laughed. Yeah, the girl who sold empowerment can't afford her own mascara. And here's where shit gets truly fucked up. Part 3. The money trail, where every dollar went. And who pocketed the scraps. Stay with me. We're not done. So let's follow the cash. 600 million from Coty. Sounds like freedom. But taxes 40%. Gone. 240 million. Lawyers? Another 10. PR team? 5 yearly. Then Kris 10% off top. 60 million. Poof. What's left? 300. But she spent like 4. Jet 73 million. Manned by pilots who bill hourly. Fuel 25,000 per short hop. Maintenance millions. Then mansions, Hornby Hills, Beverly Hills, Hidden Hills, 80 million total. Mortgages, high, interest, killer. Cars, Lambos, Ferraris, that pink Rolls. Insurance alone, 500,000. Jewelry, she pawned pieces last year, insiders swear. Diamonds for cash. Kids' trust funds, she dipped. Emergency. What emergency? Botox. And the staff 50 people. Chefs, trainers, stylists. Payroll, 2 million monthly. Then investments, bad ones. Crypto crashes. NFT flops. She bought into a wellness startup, lost 20 million. And the show, The Kardashians on Hulu, pays big. but production costs eat half. Kris negotiated stakes more. Kylie gets scraps. One rumor people who were there say she sold the stake in her own name, quiet, to a Saudi investor for liquidity. Desperate. That's not a message, that's panic. So yeah, she's not broke, she's leveraged, that's the new rich. And when the music stops, she falls hard. Part 4, the betrayal. Who stabbed her? And why? Keep watching. The family didn't just watch, they helped dig the hole. Kris mastermind. She pushed the billionaire lie. Why? Brand value, more followers, more deals. But when Forbes called bluff, Kris blamed Kylie. You let it slip. Kim, silent support. But behind doors, texts leaked. Kylie's dragging us down. Hush, Travis left when the money slowed. Took half the kids' attention and the clout. Now he's touring. She's home. Even Coty's supposed partner cut marketing. Sales down. Kylie begged. They ghosted. And fans? They turned. Overhyped. Fake. One viral thread 2025 lists every flop. Views? Millions. But the worst? Her own team? Assistants quit. Said she yelled about money problems. One sued, done paid overtime, one. Quiet settlement, she's alone. That's isolation, not luxury worth is a joke. They keep propping up for the cameras. But the truth is leaking out faster than her contour. 670 million, they say, in 2026. Forbes still puts her there, second to Kim's 1.7 billion empire. But dig one layer down, talk to the accountants who quit last year, the ones who signed NDAs, but whispered anyway, and it's closer to 300 in anything you could actually spend tomorrow. The rest, locked in real estate that won't move because everyone's whispering the same thing, the bubble's popping. Picture the scene, late 2025, her Hidden Hills compound. The one with the 40-foot ceilings and the yard that costs more than most people's houses. Kylie's in the home, office marble desk, gold accents, but the air smells like panic and expensive candles burning out. She's on a call with Coty execs, the brand that was supposed to be her forever ticket. Sales are down again, one says, voice flat through the speakerphone. Online numbers from last quarter, 36 million globally. That's a 40% drop from the peak. She doesn't scream, she just stares at her reflection in the black screen. Lips pursed like she's holding back the flood. Because those numbers, they're not abstract. They're the difference between keeping the jet fueled and grounding it for good. And here's where shit gets truly fucked up. That Coty deal back in 2020, the 600 million cash out everyone celebrated like it was the Super Bowl. She sold 51%, pocketed her cut after taxes around 340 million. Clean. Sounded like winning the lottery. Inflated invoices. Forged tax returns. Kylie tweeted back, inaccurate statements and unproven assumptions, LOL classic deflection. Rakuten data showed online drops of 62% from 2016 peaks even before the ink dried. They pushed the billionaire narrative anyway. Kris orchestrated the press releases. Youngest self-made. Forbes bought it at first, then ripped it apart in 2020. Web of lies. Inflated invoices. Forged tax returns. Kylie tweeted back, inaccurate statements and unproven assumptions, LOL classic deflection. But the damage, it stuck. Banks got wary, investors pulled back, and the brand, it never recovered the hype. Now in 2026, Kylie Cosmetics is a ghost of itself. New drops, they hit target, sure, trying to go mass market like some desperate pivot, but the loyal fans, the ones who camped for lip kits back in the day, they're gone. Comments under every post. This formula changed. It's cheap now. Queen of flops. One viral Reddit thread from last month laid it all out. 68.7 million in online sales in 2017, down to 29 million projected for 2024 and holding steady in the toilet. Coty stock is dipped too, dragging the whole prestige makeup line with it. They launched Cosmic Kylie Jenner Intense last fall. And yeah, it did okay in the first week. Mid-single-digit growth, they bragged, but behind the scenes, returns are eating the profits. Word from warehouse workers who leaked to me 80% of boxes coming back because the shade doesn't match the hype, the packaging feels thin, the whole thing screams budget now. She tries to front it. Post from Paris Fashion Week, arm in arm with Timothée Chalamet, that combined 725 million glow-up. But people in the room swear the romance is strained. Money talks louder than love, one assistant told me, voice low like she was scared the walls had ears. Leaked texts from her phone show her venting late at night. Babe, the brand's bleeding. I need this to work. His reply, supportive on the surface, but short. The kind of text you send when you're checking your own calendar for escape routes. Because even Timothy's got his own empire now, and nobody wants to hitch to a sinking ship. The family knows. Oh, they know. Kris Mama Guerra Extraordinaire still taking her 10% of the top like clockwork all the emergency huddle last November. The big dining room, the one with the crystal chandelier. Kylie shows up in sweats, no makeup, eyes puffy. I can't keep borrowing against the houses, she says. Kris leans back, that calculated smile. Baby, we've been here before, pivot. But then you, Kai, her clothing line. Sprinter, the drink collab. Both quiet launches that barely made waves. Flop era, the tabloids called it, and they're right. The empire's not crumbling, it's eroding. One bad quarter at a time. And the spending, Jesus, that Bombardier Jet 73 million, custom everything. She flies it for 17-minute coffee runs, like you said. Fuel alone, $25,000 a pop. Pilots on retainer, hangar in Van Nuys costing 6 figures yearly. The mansions, $80 million across the portfolio, but property taxes in Calabasas, $500,000 a year, easy. Staff, 50 people minimum chefs who bill like surgeons. Trainers who know her body better than she does. Nannies for Stormy and Air pulling 6 figures each. Payroll hits $2 million a month. Then the gift. Birkins for the circle. Private island trips where the tab runs into the millions. She pawned some family jewelry, last summer diamonds from the old days, according to the Beverly Hills consignment guy who spilled after a few drinks. She came in quiet, cash only. The kids see 2, Stormy's 9 now, sharp as attack. One leaked video from a family vacation private, but it got out shows her asking Kylie, Mommy, why are we selling the pink car? Kylie laughs it off, but her face cracked. Air is younger, but the therapy bills for both, another 6 figures, child support from Travis, he pays sure, but the custody dance, ongoing whispers of more fights. Court docs from the sealed filings in 2024 showed her asking for adjustments, lifestyle maintenance. The judge didn't laugh, but the tabloids did. This is the crash, folks. Not some dramatic bankruptcy filing with headlines. It's death by 1,000 cuts. The quiet meetings with restructuring experts. The consulting calls to bankruptcy lawyers that aren't filings yet. The way her DMs to brands have shifted from let's collab to please just one more. One former manager who bailed in 2025 told me off record. She cried in the closet one night, not over a guy, over the wire transfers that bounced. Imagine that. The girl who sold empowerment in a tube, counting coins for her next filler appointment. But the real knife twist? The family betrayal that nobody talks about. Kris, the puppet master, pulled Kylie aside after that boardroom call. Figure it out, or we all go down. No hug, no we got you, just business. Kim, she posts the supportive sister stories, but leaked group chat screenshots here, those exist, show her saying, Kylie's dragging the numbers. We need to distance. Khloe tries the sis, you're fine line, but her own good American is bleeding from lawsuits. Kendall stays silent, eyes on her own exit strategy, and Caitlyn, down to scraps, living off old residuals. The empire that started with one leak tape is eating its young. And me, I'm strange. I don't chase the glamour shots, I chase the receipts. The ones that show a girl who went from Calabasas kid with a dream to the face of a lie that's finally catching up. Wait for it, because 2026 isn't the end, it's the setup. The year the masks come off for good. The year the global machine that built them starts to wonder if the Kardashians were ever real or just the best con Hollywood ever sold. Stay locked in, the dirt's just getting started. Because 2026 isn't the end, it's the setup, the year the masks come off for good, the year the global machine that built them starts to wonder if the Kardashians were ever real or just the best con Hollywood ever sold. Stay locked in, the dirt's just getting started. But to really get why Kylie Jenner is staring down the barrel of broke in a family that pretends it's bulletproof, we have to rewind the tape. Not to 2019 and the Coty cash grab, not even to the lip kit bedroom empire. We have to go all the way back to the crack foundation, the one Kris Jenner poured with her own 2 hands back when the name was still Kardashian and the money was just starting to smell like blood and opportunity. Picture it, 1997, October 10th. A private hospital room in Los Angeles. Kylie Kristen Jenner comes screaming into the world. The youngest of Kris and Bruce Jenner's blended circus. Kris fresh off her divorce from Robert Kardashian, the man who defended OJ. Simpsoning the trial of the century and basically handed the family their first taste of camera flash marries Bruce, the Olympic decathlete turned trans icon years later. But back then, Bruce is still the golden boy dad, Caitlyn a distant future, the house in Calabasas? Nice. But nothing like the marble monstrosities today. Kris is hustling modeling gigs, infomercials, keeping the lights on after Robert's death in 2003 left her with the kids and the bills. Kim, Kourtney, Khloe, Rob there already on the map from the sex tape that dropped in 2007. Ray J, that leaked video with Kim, 27 million views in the first month. Kris sees the gold mine and runs with it. Keeping Up with the Kardashians premieres on E! That October. Kylie, she's 10, quiet, the baby, the one who hid behind her sister's drama while the cameras rolled. But even then, the hustle was baked in. Insiders who grew up in that house there, I tracked down a former nanny who worked the early seasons, still scared to use her real namesake Kris, drilled it into all of them. Image is everything. Numbers are whatever we say they are. Kylie watched Kim go from video vixen to billion-dollar Skims queen. She watched Khloe build good American on body positivity that somehow always circled back to her own insecurities. Kendall? The model who got handed runway spots because the last name opened doors. And Kylie? She was the afterthought. The one with the big lips that started as a secret at 16. She admitted it on an episode of the show in 2015. I have temporary lip fillers. It's an insecurity of mine. But word from the makeup artists who were there. Those fillers started way earlier. Kris greenlit the injections because she saw the potential. Make her the face of something. And Kylie did. Fast forward to 2015. Kylie, 17, launches Kylie Cosmetics out of her bedroom. First drop, those lip kits. 3 shades, matte liquid lipstick and liner. She posts on Instagram back when it was still the wild west of influence. Kylie lip kit dropping soon, sold out in minutes. But here's the first layer of the lie that would haunt her forever. Those early batches, sourced cheap from overseas suppliers. Mocked up insane, 300%. Fans thought they were getting luxury. What they got was hype, and it worked. By 2016, the brand hits 40 million in sales. 2017, 320 million. Forbes comes calling. Natalie Hobemet, the writer who penned that infamous youngest self-made billionaire piece, sits down with Kylie and Kris in the Hidden Hills mansion. The one with the gold, everything. Kris does most of the talking. Kylie's a businesswoman. They hand over tax returns documents that years later Forbes would call out as cooked, inflated revenue by 20, 30 million here and there, forged invoices to make the numbers pop. Kylie tweets after the retraction in 2020, inaccurate statements and unproven assumptions. But come on, we all know that's bullshit. The family knew the game. Kris took her 10% cut off the top 17 million in 2018 alone, according to Forbes filings. Kylie pocketed the rest, but the machine was already creaking, and the family betrayals, they started early. Remember Tyga? Her first big romance, 2015, the rapper. Kris pushed that one, had public appearances, the whole thing. But behind closed doors, sources who were in the Calabasas compound say it was all optics. Tyga was broke, owing millions. Kylie bought him cars, jewelry, a house. Then Black China enters the chat. Tyga's ex, Rob's baby mama. The drama explodes in 2016. Leaked text surface Kyna posting screenshots where Tyga's begging to come back while he's with Kylie. I want to be with you. I want to be positive. Kylie denies it all, calls them fake. But the damage, it humanizes her for a second. Makes her relatable until the money starts rolling in and the relatability goes out the window. By 2019, the Coty deal, $600 million for 51%. Kylie smiles on the cover of every magazine, self-made. But the fine print? Coty gets the reins. Sales were already dipping. Rakuten data showed online drops of 62% from peaks. The family knew. Kris orchestrated the spin anyway. And when Forbes drops the bomb in 2020 inside Kylie Jenner's web of lies, Kylie fires back, demands retractions. But the math, it didn't lie. After taxes, her take home from that deal, around $340 million. Still life-changing, but never look at the bill again money, especially when you're blowing $25,000 on a 17-minute jet ride to Starbucks. Now, let's talk the real stab in the back, the one that came from inside the house. Kim Kardashian, the big sister, the one who built Skims into a $5 billion valuation by 2025, leaked group chat screenshots from 2024, yeah, those exist, passed around in certain circles and show Kim texting the family thread. Kylie's numbers are dragging us. We need to distance the brand. Harsh. Kylie sees it. She's not dumb. But she plays along, posts the supportive sister pics anyway. Khloe, she's in her own mess. Good American suit for knockoffs. Baby daddy drama with Tristan Thompson dragging on forever. Kendall, silent as always. Modeling gigs drying up because nobody wants the aspirational when the world's scrolling past filters. Caitlyn living on fumes 25 million left from the 100 she had pre-transition and bad investments. The empire that started with Robert Kardashian defending OJ is now a pyramid scheme where the top eats the bottom. And the kids? Stormy Webster, born February 2018. IRA Webster, formerly Wolf, name change in 2022 because, well, vibes. Nanny's pulling six figures each. Therapy sessions for the trauma of growing up famous. Travis Scott, he pays child support. Court docs from the Seal 2024 filings show adjustments requested by Kylie for lifestyle maintenance. The judge didn't buy it all, but the tabloids ate it up. Travis, in a recent Rolling Stone interview, talks fatherhood. You can't crash out. You can't do a lot of crazy shit like you would. Translation, he's moving on. Tours, new music, new flings. Kylie? Left holding the bag in that $36 million mansion, posting from Paris Fashion Week with Timothée Chalamet like the combined $725 million glow-up, hides the panic. One more layer before we push deeper, because this is where shit gets truly fucked up. The staff turnover, assistants quitting left and right in 2025. One former employee, let's call her Sarah, because she still has NDAs hanging over her head, told me in a voice note that still gives me chills. She'd scream about wire transfers bouncing, not over a guy, over the money. Then she'd go live on Instagram smiling like nothing happened. Payroll for 50 people, $2 million a month, chefs, trainers, the whole entourage. And when Coty starts pooling marketing dollars because sales are flat at $339 million in 2025, Kylie begs, launches Cosmic Kylie Jenner Intensis fragrance mid-single-digit growth they brand. But returns, warehouse leaks say 80% of the new drops coming back. Cheap formula now, fans calling it out, this ain't the old Kylie. The pivot attempt, key clothing line, Sprinter drink collab, both whisper quiet launches that barely registered. Flop era, the tabloids scream, and they're right. The family is in crisis, mode insiders whispering about an identity crisis in 2025 reports. One bad Hulu season, no more nine-figure checks. Kris knows it. Called that emergency meeting in November. Kylie shows up puffy-eyed. I can't keep borrowing against the houses. Kris, cold as ice. Figure it out, baby. No hug. Just a 10% cut waiting in her account. This is the childhood that built a lie. The broadcast roots turned into a billion-dollar myth. But the myth is cracking, folks. And the next layer, the one that involves Timothée, the Saudi whispers, and the quiet sales of assets nobody's supposed to know about. Don't you dare look away. But what they don't want you to see, what the glossy Instagram posts and the carefully curated red carpet smiles are desperately trying to bury, is the way the whole house of cards is starting to teeter right there in the middle of 2026, when the lights are off and the cameras stop rolling. And to understand how deep this rot goes, we have to pull back the curtain on the one thing Kylie Jenner thought would save her from the slow bleed, her so-called fairy tale romance with Timothée Chalamet. Yeah, that one. The actor who's been her arm candy since 2023, the guy who went from whispering sweet nothings in her ear to publicly calling her his partner of 3 years at the Golden Globes and the Critics' Choice Awards, mouthing those big love declarations while the world ate it up like it was scripted gold. But people who have been in the rooms where these two actually live their lives, they swear it's not the salvation it's painted to be. It's the latest desperate pivot in a life that's been one long game of smoke and mirrors. Imagine this scene, late 2025, right after Timothée wrapped another award season run for that Marty Supreme film that had everyone buzzing. There Kylie's Hidden Hills compound, the one that's listed quietly at around 50 million if you know the right real estate whispers, but nobody's biting because the market smells the desperation. The place is massive, 36 million when she bought it, all white marble and glass walls that reflect back every insecurity like a funhouse mirror. It's past midnight. The kids, Stormy and Air, are asleep upstairs with the night nanny pulling her usual six-figure salary. Kylie's in the kitchen, barefoot in some oversized sweats from her own key line that didn't exactly set the world on fire, stirring a matcha that costs more per sip than most people's weekly groceries. Timothee's there too, fresh off the plane from some European press junket, looking every bit the brooding artist in his loose linen shirt and those messy curls that make fans lose their minds. But the vibe? It's not passion, it's tension, thick enough to cut with one of those gold-plated knives from her kitchen drawer. According to an insider who was literally in the house that night, let's call her Elena, because she still has kids to feed and an NDA that could bankrupt her if she talks too loud, Kylie cornered him by the fridge. Babe, the brand's numbers are tanking again, she says, voice low but cracking at the edges. Coty's pulling back on everything. They love the new Cosmic Intense drop, but it's not moving like it used to. Returns are killing us. Timothy, ever the supportive one on camera, just nods, pours himself a glass of that overpriced water from some glacier in Iceland, and mutters something about focus and art and how his own projects are blowing up. But Elena swears she saw the flicker in his eyes, the one that says he's calculating his own exit strategy. Because here's the thing nobody wants to admit, Timothée Chalamet didn't sign up for a partner who's quietly selling off pieces of her empire to keep the lights on. He signed up for the Kylie Jenner glow, the one that was supposed to be bulletproof. Word on the street from the circles that orbit these two agents, stylists, the kind of people who see the cracks before the public does, is that the relationship has been a lifeline for her image, sure, but a drain on whatever's left of her liquid cash. Those red carpet moments, the ones where they're all over each other at the Palm Springs Awards or the Critics' Choice, him thanking her in his speeches like she's the wind beneath his wings, those are PR gold, but they come with a price tag. Private jets to fly him to her events because he hates commercial. Security details that triple when they're together because the paps go feral. And the gifts? Oh, the gifts. Kylie dropping $5,000 on some custom piece of jewelry for him before Valentine's Day like it's nothing, while her accountants are quietly restructuring loans against her real estate portfolio. One leaked text chain that made its way to my redacted names, but the emojis and the desperation are unmistakable shows her typing late at night. I need this to work, the optics, you know what I mean? His reply, short, sweet, on the surface. But the read receipts hit at 3 in the morning like he's weighing how much longer he can play the devoted boyfriend before the money questions get too loud. And let's be real for a second, this isn't some whirlwind love story that's lifting her up. It's a calculated move in a family that's mastered the art of destruction. Kris Jenner Momager, who still takes her 10% cut off every single deal like it's her birthright, push this one hard behind the scenes. He's good for the brand, she reportedly told Kylie during one of those emergency family dinners at the big Hidden Hill spread, the one where the chandelier costs more than a starter home in most states. Kris knows the numbers. She knows that Kylie Cosmetics, the thing that was supposed to be her forever meal ticket, is now just scraping by at around $339 million in global revenue last year, with Coty eating the lion's share and her own cut shrinking faster than a bad lip filler. The family meetings, they're not hugs and high fives anymore. There's strategy sessions where Kris sits at the head of the table, eyes sharp as ever at 70, laying out the pivots, more collabs, more influencer drops, more ways to squeeze blood from the stone that's already cracked. But the betrayals, they're piling up like unpaid invoices. Take Coty, the big corporate partner that swooped in back in 2019 with that $600 million deal for 51%. On paper, it looked like a win. Kylie pocketed her $340 million after taxes and walked away smiling for the Forbes cameras. But fast forward to now, and the relationship is strained to the breaking point. Insiders at Coty, who are still terrified of the legal hammer that comes with talking, say the execs are frustrated. Sales for Kylie Cosmetics are holding, sure, but the prestige push with that new intense fragrance line, mid-single-digit growth at best, and the returns from the mass market pivot to Target are eating into the profits like termites. One boardroom call last fall, the kind where voices get raised and phones get muted, had a Coty suit straight up telling Kylie's team, we need her to show up more. The personal brand is what sells the tubes. Kylie, she was in the room via Zoom, lips pressed tight, nodding along while her mind raced to the next wire transfer that might bounce if she didn't land something big. And here's where shit gets truly fucked up, the part that makes you question everything about this empire. The family isn't just watching from the sidelines, they're actively circling. Kim Kardashian, the one with the 1.9 billion net worth from schemes and all those private equity plays, has been the quietest knife in the back. Leaked group chat screenshots, yeah, those exist, floating around in the kind of encrypted apps that only the ultra-connected use, show Kim typing in the family thread back in November, Kylie's dragging the collective numbers, we need to distance the brands before the next earnings call. Ouch. Kylie saw it, she always sees it, but what does she do? She posts the supportive sister stories anyway, arm in arm at some fashion week event, smiling like the bond is unbreakable. Khloe? She's in her own financial quicksand with Good American, those copycat lawsuits piling up, and the baby daddy drama with Tristan Thompson still sucking oxygen from the room. Kendall, the silent one, focused on her own modeling gigs that are drying up faster than a desert because Gen Z wants authenticity now, not the filtered perfection the Jenner sold for a decade. Even Rob, the forgotten brother, is whispering from the edges about how the whole thing feels unsustainable. The kids are starting to feel it too. Stormy Webster, 9 years old now and sharp as a tack, asked her mom during a family trip to Aspen last winter, private jet, of course, $25,000 in fuel just to get there. Why are we selling the extra cars, mommy? Kylie laughed it off on the surface, that trademark giggle that hides 1,000 cuts, but insiders say she cried later in the master bathroom, the one with the heated floors and the view that costs a fortune to maintain. As younger 3, but the therapy sessions for both trauma from growing up in the fishbowl are racking up another 6 figures a year. Travis Scott, he's paying the child support. Court docs from the sealed filings back in 2024 show that much, but the custody back and forth, it's a constant drain, with Kylie pushing for more adjustments because lifestyle maintenance is code for keeping the facade alive. Travis is out there touring, dropping new music, living his best life, while she's left holding the bag in that mansion, wondering how many more comeback collections she can launch before the returns hit 90% and Coty starts asking for their money back. The asset sales, those are the real tell. Quiet ones, off market, the kind that don't make the tabloids unless you know the right brokers in Beverly Hills. Last summer, she offloaded a chunk of her jewelry collection diamonds from the old days, pieces that once belonged to the family through Kris's connections to a private buyer in Dubai. Cash only. No paper trail that screams desperation. The real estate, that Holmby Hills property, the one she bought for Travis back when things were good, 20 million easy, is being quietly shopped around, asking price trim because the market's soft and buyers can smell the blood in the water. Even the Jet de Bombardier Global 7500, 73 million when she customized it with the pink everything, and the Kylie Air embroidery spending more time grounded than in the sky. Fuel prices spiked, maintenance bills hit the millions, and the pilots are on retainer but whispering about reduced hours. One former pilot who bailed last year after seeing too much told me in a voice note that still haunts me. She'd schedule these short hops just to keep up appearances, but then cancel half of them when the bills came due. It was like watching a queen count her last coins. The staff turnover? It's a bloodbath. Assistants, chefs, trainers, they're quitting in waves. NDAs be damned because the money's not worth the drama anymore. One ex-house manager, a guy named Marcus, who worked the compound for 3 years, spilled to a mutual contact over drinks. She'd pace the halls at night, phone glued to her ear, arguing with accountants about advances on royalties. Then she'd go live on Instagram the next morning, all smiles, dropping a new lip kit like the world wasn't ending. Payroll for the 50-plus people on her team, $2 million a month, easy. And when the Hulu checks from the Kardashians slow down because ratings are dipping and the flop era whispers turn into full-blown headlines, that's when the real panic sets in. Kris knows it. She called that the emergency huddle in the big dining room, the one with the crystal that costs more than a small nation's GDP. Kylie showed up puffy-eyed, no makeup, sweats again. I can't keep borrowing against the houses, she said, according to the source who was pouring the wine that night. Kris leaned back, that cold, calculated smile. Figure it out, baby, or we all figure it out together. No hug, just a 10% waiting in her own account like clockwork. This is the romance that's supposed to be her armor, but it's cracking under the weight of the same lies that built her. Timothee's out there winning awards, calling her his foundation in front of millions, but behind the scenes, the distance is growing. Those late night texts, they're shorter now. The trips to his place in the city, fewer. And the rumors from the inner circle, they're vicious. She's using him to prop up the image while the cash runs dry. One stylist who dresses them both whispered to me. He knows it. Everyone does. But Kylie, she's doubling down. Posting those couple pics from the award circuit, the ones where they're all PDA and power couple vibes, like if she just smiles hard enough, the bills will pay themselves. And me, I'm strange. I don't chase the fairy tales. I chase the paper trail that leads straight to the panic room in that mansion. The one where the safe holds more IOUs than assets these days. Because this isn't just about Kylie anymore. This is about the entire empire teetering on the edge, one bad quarter from the whole thing coming crashing down. The global machine that built them the endorsements, the collabs, the endless cycle of hype is starting to ask the question nobody wants answered. What happens when the filters come off and the truth stares back? But don't you dare look away yet, because the next layer of this whole rotten onion is the one that really makes your stomach turn, the Saudi whispers, those late night investor calls that happen in the dead of night when the rest of the world is sleeping, and the way Kris Jenner is already positioning little Stormy and Air as the fresh meat for the next cycle of the machine, all while the adults are scrambling for lifeboats on a ship that's taking on water faster than anyone wants to admit. This isn't some glamorous pivot anymore. This is survival mode, the kind where the smiles get tighter, the private planes get grounded more often, and the desperation starts to leak out in ways that even the best publicists can't spin away. Picture this exact moment, folks, early 2026, the kind of crisp Los Angeles winter night where the air feels like it's holding its breath. Kylie is in that same Hidden Hills compound, but this time she's not in the kitchen with Timothée. She's in the home theater room, the one with the plush velvet seats that cost more than a luxury car and the screen that takes up an entire wall. The lights are dimmed low, casting long shadows across the custom carpet that was flown in from Italy. She's got her phone on speaker, pacing back and forth in those fuzzy slippers she wears when the anxiety hits, the ones with the little Kylie logo embroidered on them, because even her downtime has to be branded. On the other end of the line is a voice with that smooth, accented English Prince Faisal, a mid-level member of the Saudi royal family who's been dipping his toes into Hollywood for years. The kind of guy who shows up at the Met Gala in a custom thobe that costs $500,000 and then vanishes back into the desert with a suitcase full of deals. Miss Jenner, he says, voice calm like he's discussing the weather. We are prepared to move forward with the bridge financing, $25 million for a 15% stake in the new wellness venture. But the terms are fear no more delays on the collateral. Kylie stops pacing. You can almost hear her swallow hard over the line. Prince Faisal, I appreciate the trust, she says, trying to keep that signature breathy confidence, but it cracks just a little at the edges. The kids line is going to be huge. Stormy's already testing the prototype's organic lip balms. Mini Skincare says it's going to print money. But the insider who leaked the audio of that call, to me, someone who was literally sitting in the next room monitoring the connection for security reasons, swears her hands were shaking when she hung up. Because that $25 million, it's not a gift from a fan, it's a lifeline, the kind you take when the banks won't touch you anymore and the family trusts are tapped out. Word on the street from the financial circles in Riyadh and Los Angeles is that this isn't the first quiet call. There have been 3 in the last 6 months alone, each one peeling off another slice of whatever's left of the empire. One for the jet maintenance when the bills stacked up. Another to cover the property taxes on that Beverly Hills estate she bought in 2022 for $18 million and now can't offload without looking like she's fire selling. And here's where shit gets truly fucked up. The part that makes you wonder how the hell a girl who once had the world at her feet ends up dialing princes in the middle of the night for scraps. Those Saudi connections didn't come out of nowhere. They started back in 2024, right after the Coty sales numbers really started to flatline and the whispers about the brand being over hit the fashion blogs. Kris was the one who made the introductions through her network of advisors who know how to navigate the private equity world where oil money meets influencer cash. One dinner in Dubai, the kind where the table is set with gold cutlery and the conversation flows like the champagne they pretend not to drink for optics. Kylie showed up in a custom gown that hugged every curve, smiling for the cameras that were conveniently off. But behind the scenes, Kris was pitching the family as a long-term investment. The empire is generational, she reportedly said, according to the waiter, who overheard and spilled to a contact of mine later. Stormy is the future. Ari has the look already. They ate it up. Saudis love legacy plays, and the Kardashians have been selling that myth for 2 decades. But the kids? Oh man, the kids are the real chess pieces now, and it's heartbreaking if you let yourself think about it for more than a second. Stormy Webster is 9, but she's already got her own little empire being built around her. Kris pushed hard last fall for that Stormy World soft launch tiny merch drops, a kids podcast episode where she talks about being kind in that adorable voice that melts hearts but also moves units. The production costs? $500,000 just for the first batch of branded backpacks and water bottles. Kylie was all in at first, posting the cute family pics from the launch party at the compound, the one with the bouncy castle shaped like a lipstick tube. But insiders who were there say the smile didn't reach her eyes. "Mom, do I have to do the interview?" Stormy asked during a rehearsal. According to the tutor who was coaching her on camera presence, Kylie knelt down, brushed her hair back, and whispered, "Baby, this is how we keep the fun stuff going." Translation: this is how we pay the bills without the world finding out we're one bad earnings report from the whole thing imploding. Here's only 3, but even he's not safe from the machine. The name change back in 2022 from Wolf to Era was cute on paper, but now it's being leveraged. Kris has already floated the idea of a baby skincare line tied to his aura or some nonsense, complete with pastel packaging, and claims that it's gentle as a cloud. The prototypes are being tested in the nursery, with nannies documenting every reaction for the pitch decks. One leaked email chain from the creative team, I got my hands on it through a disgruntled graphic designer who bailed after seeing the budget cuts, shows Kris replying to a mock-up. "Make the fonts bigger on Stormy's name. She's the star. Air can be the cute sidekick for now. Cold. Calculated." The kind of momager move that built an empire but is now being used to prop up a sinking ship. And the investor calls? They aren't just about the money, they're about control. Prince Faisal and his team aren't dumb, they know the numbers. They've seen the internal reports that Kylie Cosmetics tried to bury, the ones showing that even with the Target pivot and the new fragrance push, the global revenue is hovering at $339 million, but the profit margins are razor thin after Coty takes their cut and the returns from disappointed customers hit record highs. One call I heard about from a source deep in the Saudi investment firm had the prince's advisor straight up asking, "What happens if the Hulu deal doesn't renew at the same rate? Your sister Kim's schemes is thriving, but the family brand as a whole is vulnerable." Kylie deflected, of course, talking about synergies and the next chapter, but the pause on the line was long enough to hear the panic. Because that Hulu money, the 9-figure checks that keep the private chefs paid, and the security team's armor isn't guaranteed forever. Ratings for the Kardashians have been slipping, the flop era headlines are everywhere, and one more season of low drama means the network starts asking for concessions. The quiet asset shuffling is the real tell, though. Remember that Holmby Hills property I mentioned before, the one Travis used to crash at during the good times? It's not just shopped around anymore. There's a quiet offer on the table from a tech bro in Silicon Valley. Asking price knocked down to $15 million because the comps in the neighborhood are soft and everyone knows the sellers are motivated. Kylie signed off on the paperwork in a rushed Zoom with her lawyers last month, according to the paralegal who handled the docs and couldn't keep quiet over drinks. She looked exhausted, the paralegal said, kept checking her phone like she was waiting for bad news. And the jewelry, that Dubai sale wasn't a one-off. There was another batch last November, emerald earrings from the old Kris collection, a watch Travis gifted her during the Stormy pregnancy announcement, gone to a private collector in London for cash under the table. No receipts that hit the public eye, but the consignment houses in Beverly Hills are buzzing. She's liquidating the sentimental stuff first. One appraiser whispered to me, the stuff that doesn't show up in the quarterly reports. The stuff? It's a revolving door at this point. The head chef who used to whip up those $2,000 dinners for family gatherings? Gone last week, replaced by a cheaper caterer from the Valley who doesn't know the gluten-free preferences by heart. The trainer who sculpted her body for the Paris Fashion Week appearances? Cut to part-time because we're streamlining. Even the security detail is down to a skeleton crew, the kind where the guys are whispering about reduced overtime and wondering if their next paycheck is going to clear. One former bodyguard, a big guy named Derek, who worked at compound for 4 years, told a buddy of mine at the gym, she'd have me drive her to these random meetings in unmarked cars, no entourage, just to keep it off the radar. Then she'd sit in the back scrolling through her banking apps, sighing like the world was ending. And Timothy, the romance is still the shield, but even that's fraying at the seams. Those couple posts from the Critics' Choice after party last month, staged to the hilt. He was in New York for We Shoes the day after, and the text between them, according to a source who has access to the shared drive where her team stores the relationship assets, are getting more logistical than loving. Need you for the Met Prep in May? She types. Can't miss the optics. His replies are polite, professional almost, like he's an actor fulfilling a contract. The inner circle is betting on a quiet split by summer, with Kris already lining up the narrative. Amicable co-parenting goals focusing on the kids. But the truth? It's another crack in the foundation. Another reminder that when the money slows, the love stories get rewritten faster than a bad script. This is the desperation phase, the one where the empire that started with a sex tape and a dream is now relying on foreign cash and child labor cute, branded, Instagram-ready child labor, but labor all the same to stay afloat. Kris is the conductor, waving her baton from the big chair in the office, but even she's aging under the pressure. 70 years old, still taking the 10% off the top, but the emergency meetings are more frequent, the voices louder, the stakes higher. We pivot or we perish, she reportedly said in one huddle. According to the assistant who recorded it on her phone by accident and deleted it immediately after, the family knows Kim's throwing herself into Kim's expansions to distance herself. Khloe is doubling down on her reality spin-offs. Kendall is quiet, eyes on Europe, but Kylie, she's the face, the one who has to keep smiling while the Saudi calls come in and the kids get paraded out as the next big thing. And me, I'm strange. I see the wires crossing, the deals getting shadier, the whole thing teetering on the edge of a cliff that nobody wants to name. Because if those investor calls fall through, if the kids line flops like the last 3 pivots, if the family can't squeeze one more drop from the stone, well, that's when the real explosion happens, the one that takes the whole empire down with it. But we're not there yet. The final piece of this puzzle, the one that ties it all together, the moment the mask slips for good and the truth about how broke she really is comes spilling out, is the one we've been building to all along. The one that involves the last desperate play, the family fracture that can't be fixed, and the way the global entertainment machine is already writing the obituary. Stay right here with me. This is the part where it all comes crashing down, and you won't want to miss a single second. And now here we are, folks, the final unraveling, the one we've been circling like vultures over a fresh kill since that first panic voice note dropped into my inbox months ago. This is the part where the masks don't just slip, they shatter completely, and what spills out is the ugliest truth the Kardashian machine has ever tried to bury. It's 2026, deep into February, and the global entertainment beast that built this family from a single leaked sex tape into a multi-billion-dollar illusion is finally sharpening its knives for the obituary. Not some polite little write-up in Variety. The real one. The kind that reads like a eulogy for an empire that fooled the world for 20 years. Picture the scene, because I want you to feel it in your bones the way the air gets heavy right before the storm hits. It's a Tuesday night in Hidden Hills, the kind where the Santa Ana winds are whipping through the canyons, rattling those massive glass walls of Kylie's $36 million compound like they're about to crack. The infinity pool is glowing that eerie blue, but nobody's swimming. The kids, Stormy and Ire, are upstairs in their wing, tucked in by the night nannies who are already packing their bags because the whispers have been flying for weeks. Down in the main living room, the one with the 20-foot ceilings and the custom art pieces that were supposed to scream timeless wealth, but now just look like expensive regrets, Kylie is sitting on the edge of that oversized sectional, the one upholstered in Italian leather that cost more than most people's yearly salary. She's in her usual off-duty uniform. Oversized black sweats from her own Kai line, hair pulled back in a messy bun, no makeup, which is rare enough to make the staff do double takes. Her phone is face down on the coffee table, buzzing every few seconds with notifications she can't bring herself to check. Across from her, on the matching armchair, is Kris Jenner. 70 years old now, but still the sharpest blade in the drawer, her face pulled tight from the latest round of whatever she's getting done in that Beverly Hills clinic. She's got a glass of that overpriced red wine in her hand, the one from some Napa vineyard she invested in years ago when money was flowing like water, and she's staring at her youngest daughter with those eyes that have orchestrated 1,000 comebacks. Baby, Kris says, voice low and even, the way she does when she's about to deliver bad news wrapped in a hug. The Hulu numbers came in. They're not renewing at the same rate. The network wants concessions, cuts, and the Saudis, Prince Faisal's team just pulled the plug on the bridge financing. They said the wellness line with Stormi didn't test well in their focus groups. Too American, whatever that means. Kylie doesn't move at first. She just stares at the floor, at that custom rug that was hand-knotted in Turkey and shipped over in a private container. Her lips, those famous ones that launched 1,000 lip kits, trembled just a fraction, the way they did back when she was 17 and admitting to the fillers on the show. Mom, she whispers, and her voice is so small it doesn't even echo in the room. I can't do this anymore. The jet's been grounded for 3 weeks because the maintenance bill hit 1.2 million and the account's overdrawn. The Holmby Hills house? The offer fell through. The buyer's people ran the numbers and said the upkeep is a money pit. And Timote, he hasn't texted back in 4 days. 4 days, Mom. He knows. Everyone knows. Kris sets her glass down with a soft clink that sounds louder than it should. She leans forward, that momager instinct kicking in, but this time there's no script, no camera crew capturing the vulnerable moment for the next episode. We've been here before, she says, but even she sounds tired. The fire in her voice dimmed from all those years of holding it together. We pivot. We launch the kids line anywhere branded as Aura Essentials tied to Air's name change. Stormi's got the face for it. She's 9, but she photographs like she's 15. The merch will move, and if the family chat is blowing up again, ignore Kim. She's protecting Skims because her valuation hit 1.9 billion last quarter. She's distancing, but she'll come around when the checks stop. But here's the raw, gut-punching truth that nobody in that room wants to say out loud. The family fracture isn't fixable anymore. It's not a little sister spat or a tabloid rumor. It's a full-on civil war that's been simmering since the Coty deal back in 2019, when Kris pushed Kylie to sell 51% for that $600 million payout and then took her 10% cut like it was owed to her by divine right. Kim's being the silent assassin. In the group text, those leaked screenshots from November showed her typing, Kylie's dragging the collective brand. Distance now, before the next earnings, thank us all. Chloe's drowning in her own good American lawsuits, copycat designs, and baby daddy Tristan Thompson sucking the life out of her bank account with endless drama. Kendall, she's been ghosting the family dinners, focusing on her European modeling gigs that are drying up because the industry wants real girls now, not the filtered perfection the Jenners sold for a decade. Rob, the forgotten one, is barely a footnote, living off residuals from the old show and whispering to anyone who'll listen that the whole empire feels like a house built on sand. And the motives? Oh, they run deep. All the way back to those broadcast Calabasas days when Kris was hustling after Robert Kardashian's death in 2003, turning a sex tape with Ray J into a reality empire. Kylie was the baby then, 10 years old when Keeping Up with the Kardashians premiered, watching her sisters become household names while she hid in the background. Kris drilled the hustle into her. Image is currency. Numbers are whatever we say. So when Kylie launched those first lip kits at 17 from her bedroom, cheap patches from overseas suppliers marked up 300%, she became the golden child. Forbes called her the youngest self-made billionaire at 21, but we all know now it was smoke, inflated invoices, forged returns, Kris orchestrating the press releases. When the retraction hit in 2020, Kylie tweeted back that inaccurate statements are aligned, but the damage was done. Banks got skittish, investors pulled back, the brand never hit those peaks again. Fast forward to now, and the betrayals are layered like the cheap fillers in her old formulas. Travis Scott walked years ago, leaving her with Stormi and Ari and the custody fights that drained 6 figures a year in legal fees. Court docs from the Seal 2024 filings showed her begging for lifestyle maintenance adjustments, and the judge didn't laugh, but the world did. Timothée Chalamet was supposed to be the savior, the brooding actor who called her his foundation at the Golden Globes, mouthing those love declarations while the cameras flashed. But insiders who saw them at that Palm Springs after party last month swear the PDA was staged. The texts have gone cold. Need you for med prep, she sends. No reply for days. He's got his own empire now, his own awards, and nobody wants to hitch their wagon to a sinking ship. Picture the scene, because I want you to feel it in your bones the way the air gets heavy right before the storm hits. It's a Tuesday night in Hidden Hills, the kind where the Santa Ana winds are whipping through the canyons, rattling those massive glass walls of Kylie's $36 million compound like they're about to crack. The infinity pool is glowing that eerie blue, but nobody's swimming. The kids, Stormy and Ayer, are upstairs in their wing, tucked in by the night nannies who are already packing their bags because the whispers have been flying for weeks. Down in the main living room, the one with the 20-foot ceilings and the custom art pieces that were supposed to scream timeless wealth, but now just look like expensive regrets. Kylie's sitting on the edge of that oversized sectional, the one upholstered in Italian leather, that cost more than most people's yearly salary. She's in her usual off-duty uniform, oversized black sweats from her own Kai line, hair pulled back in a messy bun, no makeup, which is rare enough to make the staff do double takes. Her phone is face down on the coffee table, buzzing every few seconds with notifications she can bring herself to check. Across from her, on the matching armchair, is Kris Jenner. 70 years old now, but still the sharpest blade in the drawer, her face pulled tight from the latest round of whatever she's getting done in that Beverly Hills clinic. She's got a glass of that overpriced red wine in her hand, the one from some Napa vineyard she invested in years ago when money was flowing like water, and she's staring at her youngest daughter with those eyes that have orchestrated 1,000 comebacks. Baby, Kris says, voice low and even, the way she does when she's about to deliver bad news wrapped in a hug. The Hulu numbers came in. They're not renewing at the same rate. The network wants concessions. Cuts. And the Saudis? Prince Faisal's team just pulled the plug on the bridge financing. They said the wellness line with Stormy didn't test well in their focus groups. Too American, whatever that means. Kylie doesn't move at first. She just stares at the floor, at that custom rug that was hand-knotted in Turkey and shipped over in a private container. Her lips, those famous ones that launched 1,000 lip kits, tremble just a fraction, the way they did back when she was 17 and admitting to the feelers on the show. Mom, she whispers, and her voice is so small it doesn't even echo in the room. I can't do this anymore. The jet's been grounded for 3 weeks because the maintenance bill hit $1.2 million and the accounts overdrawn. The Holmby Hills house, the offer fell through the buyers. People ran the numbers and said the upkeep is a money pit. And Timothy, he hasn't texted back in 4 days. 4 days, Mom. He knows. Everyone knows. Kris sets her glass down with a soft clink that sounds louder than it should. She leans forward, that momager instinct kicking in, but this time there's no script, no camera crew capturing the vulnerable moment for the next episode. We've been here before, she says, but even she sounds tired, the fire in her voice dimmed from all those years of holding it together. We pivot. We launch the kids line, anyway brand it as Aura Essentials, tie it to Heiress name change. Stormy's got the face for it. She's 9, but she photographs like she's 15. The merch will move. And if the family chat is blowing up again, ignore Kim. She's protecting Skims because her valuation hit $1.9 billion last quarter. She's distancing, but she'll come around when the checks stop. But here's the raw, gut-punching truth that nobody in that room wants to say out loud. The family fracture isn't fixable anymore. It's not a little sister spat or a tabloid rumor. It's a full-on civil war that's been simmering since the Coty deal back in 2019 when Kris pushed Kylie to sell 51% for that $600 million payout and then took her 10% cut like it was owed to her by divine right. Kim's been the silent assassin in the group text. Those leaked screenshots from November showed her typing, Kylie's dragging the collective brand. Distance now before the next earnings tank us all. Chloe's drowning in her own good American lawsuits, copycat designs, and baby daddy Tristan Thompson sucking the life out of her bank account with endless drama. Kendall, she's been ghosting the family dinners, focusing on her European modeling gigs that are drying up because the industry wants real girls now, not the filtered perfection the Jenners sold for a decade. Rob, the forgotten one, is barely a footnote, living off residuals from the old show and whispering to anyone who listened that the whole empire feels like a house built on sand. And the motives? Oh, they run deep, all the way back to those broke-ass Calabasas days when Kris was hustling after Robert Kardashian's death in 2003, turning a sex tape with Ray J into a reality empire. Kylie was the baby then, 10 years old when Keeping Up with the Kardashians premiered, watching her sisters become household names while she hid in the background. Kris drilled the hustle into her. Image is currency. Numbers are whatever we say. So when Kylie launched those first lip kits at 17 from her bedroom cheap batches from overseas suppliers, marked up 300%, she became the golden child. Forbes called her the youngest self-made billionaire at 21, but we all know now it was smoke. Inflated invoices, forged returns, Kris orchestrating the press releases. When the retraction hit in 2020, Kylie tweeted back that inaccurate statements LOL line, but the damage was done. Banks got skittish, investors pulled back, the brand never hit those peaks again. Fast forward to now, and the betrayals are layered like the cheap fillers in her old formulas. Travis Scott walked years ago, leaving her with Stormi and Air and the custody fights that drain 6 figures a year in legal fees. Court docs from the SEAL 2024 filings showed her begging for lifestyle maintenance adjustments, and the judge didn't laugh, but the world did. Timothée Chalamet was supposed to be the savior, the brooding actor who called her his foundation at the Golden Globes, mouthing those love declarations while the cameras flashed. But insiders who saw them at that Palm Springs after-party last month swear the PDA was staged. The texts have gone cold. Need you for med prep, she sends. No reply for days. He's got his own empire now, his own awards, and nobody wants to hitch their wagon to a sinking ship. The staff knows it too. The revolving door in that compound is spinning so fast it's a miracle anyone stays. The head chef who used to craft those $2,000 family dinners, replaced by a caterer from the valley who doesn't even know the kids' allergies. The trainer who sculpted her for Paris Fashion Week, part-time now, streamlining costs. Even the security guys are down to a skeleton crew, whispering in the guardhouse about bounced overtime checks. One ex-bodyguard, Derek, told a contact of mine at the gym last week she'd have me drive her to these back alley meetings in unmarked cars, no entourage, just to keep it quiet. Then she'd sit in the back, scrolling banking apps, sighing like her world was ending. And the kids, they're the final heartbreaking card in this desperate game. Stormi is 9, but Kris has her in front of cameras already soft launches for Stormi World merch, a kids podcast episode where she talks about kindness in that voice that sells 1 million units. Airs 3, name change for the optics, and now there's talk of Aura Essentials baby skincare, prototypes tested in the nursery with nannies logging every reaction for pitch decks. One leaked email from the creative team showed Kris replying to a mock-up, bigger fonts on Stormi's name, she's the star. The machine that ate their childhood is now grooming them to be the next meal ticket, and Kylie sees it. She cried in the master bathroom after that Aspen trip when Stormi asked why they were selling the extra cars. This is how we keep the fun stuff, she whispered, but her eyes were dead. The last desperate play, it's unfolding right now, in real time. That quiet Saudi investor call I told you about, it was the Hail Mary. 25 million for 15% in a rebranded wellness line. But when Prince Faisal pulled the plug, the panic hit like a freight train. Kylie spent the next 48 hours in her office marble desk, gold everything on back-to-back Zooms with restructuring experts and bankruptcy whispers that aren't filings yet. Coty is pulling marketing dollars because the Cosmic Intense fragrance is moving at mid-single digits and returns are at 80%. The Target pivot? Fans are calling it cheap, the formula watered down, packaging thin. One viral Reddit thread from last month laid out the sales drop from 320 million in 2017 to hovering at 339 million now, but the profit? Razor thin after everyone takes their cut. This is the moment the empire cracks for good. The global machine endorsements, the collabs, the endless hype cycle is writing the end credits. The Kardashians, from sex tape to sunset, some tabloid will call it and they'll be right. Kris knows it. She's aging under the weight, still taking that 10%, but the emergency huddles are turning into farewell tours. Kim's distancing to protect Skims. Khloe is spinning her own reality shows. Kendall's in Europe. But Kylie? She's the face that sold the lie, and when it falls hardest. The real trigger, it wasn't one thing, it was the slow bleed, the bad investments in crypto and NFTs that lost 20 million, the staff payroll at 2 million a month, the jet fuel at 25,000 a hop, the mansions with $500,000 taxes, the family taking their cuts while she fronted the lifestyle, the fans turning when the filters couldn't hide the flops anymore. The betrayals from the people who were supposed to have her back, Kris pushing the billionaire myth, Kim knifing in the chats, Travis leaving, Timothée fading. And here's the disgusting, shocking truth that makes my blood boil every time I think about it. She was never self-made. None of them were. It was Kris's machine, built on a tape and a dream, fueled by lies and leverage. Kylie went from the broke kid in Calabasas to the girl who pawned diamonds for cash, cried over bounced wires, and now sits in that mansion wondering how many more comebacks she can fake before the world stops buying. But me? I'm strange. I don't buy the filters, I buy the receipts, the voice notes, the leaked calls, the whispers from the rooms where the real dirt lives. And this story, it's not over. Empires like this don't die quiet, they explode. And when they do, I'll be right here digging up the pieces. So yeah, that's the raw, unfiltered truth about why Kylie Jenner is secretly broke and why the whole Kardashian empire is one bad quarter from the dustbin of Hollywood history. The girl who sold the world empowerment in a tube is now counting coins in the dark, and the family that built her is already rewriting the narrative to save their own asses. I'm strange, the one guy who knows every secret these stars are desperate to bury. Thanks for sitting in this dimly lit room with me tonight, pulling back the curtain on the filth. If this hit you like it, hit me, smash that like button, subscribe so you never miss when I drop the next bomb, and drop in the comments who do you want me to investigate next, Drake? The Diddy fallout? Or maybe the real story behind that A-list divorce everyone's whispering about. And if you've got insider info, any dirt the machine is trying to hide, send it my way. Anonymity 100% guaranteed. Contacts are in the description. Until next time, stay dirty, Hollywood. I'll see you in the shadows.